The Civil War monument in Delavan is to remember those that died during the Civil War that are from Delavan. It was starting to get really bad, and maybe we should make sure that our memorial to the Civil War veterans was cleaned up before we start looking at other memorials.
I know that it's in Spring Grove Cemetery, and we hold ceremonies there every Memorial Day, and the band plays, the choir sings sometimes, and it's just this huge dedication to all the soldiers that were in Delavan.
This part of Wisconsin after the war, saw a lot of veterans, both Union and Confederate, move to this part of Wisconsin, and both the Union veterans and the Confederate veterans felt that the monument was important to remind us of our history, to remind us of our heritage.
The first time I saw it was about 4 years ago, shortly after I moved to Delavan, when I attended a Memorial Day service, and I was very impressed. I mean, it was a very beautiful, well-organized event that they held for Memorial Day, and it was beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing, and that's probably the most I know about it, other than the fact it's from the Civil War.
I think it's really a wonderful monument. Until very recently, I did not even know that there was a connection with the Civil War monument and anybody on the fire department. So I found that interesting tidbit. As a youngster, parents would almost always go to every Memorial Day service up there, and always watched Alan Bazell climbing the monument to place the wreath at the top. So it's a treasure well worth being preserved.
I used to climb it after Frank Clark decided that he didn't want to do it anymore. I climbed the monument for every Memorial Day. Used to go up there when I was a little kid in school. That's what you had to do, that, or you was a day of missed school. And then I played in the band, went in the service, came back and got into Legion and Memorial Day and started climbing it. Climbed it until they said it wasn't safe to climb, but that cemetery said it wasn't safe to climb, and quit climbing it. And presented the wreath after that, just presented it. Now my son's taken over.
has been incorporated every year for the Memorial Day festivities, and I'm proud to say that two of my nieces have been poppy princesses right in front of the monument. In fact, I have a photo, and you can see a definite difference in how far the cleaning of the monument has come, which is a wonderful thing. I don't know how much it actually shows up in the camera and the video itself, but a lot of this is just almost totally black and green and mold, and certainly there's a drastic difference in just 1 year's time, basically, from when this photo was taken. And so it's a wonderful thing that the committee is doing to preserve this monument and have it be an attraction for those that are visiting the city and for those like myself that live here and remember those that fought for our freedoms and why we enjoy the freedom that we have today.
We see the monument all the time because my grandparents live right next to the cemetery. And my great-grandfather ran the cemetery for many years, so we've taken many trips out there. We also have done a lot of work with the trees and other plants around the cemetery to keep the cemetery looking its best.
The Civil War monument here in Delavan is really a historic monument. It was built, or I should say carved, in 1870 by John Bossy and placed in Spring Grove Cemetery to recognize the contributions of all of those who fought in the Civil War from our area, but particularly those who died. I believe there were 56. Quite actually, in the Delavan area, there were just a tremendous amount of patriots that came forward to fight in the Civil War. Currently, I'm helping with the restoration of the monument. There's a committee that's been organized by Ken Wargo, who is the brainchild of that committee, and it includes two members of the Daughters of the Union Veterans of the Civil War, that's Sandy Bain and myself. Patty Marsicano, who is also a member of the Daughters, is representing the Delavan Historical Society. At this point in time, the monument has been cleaned and it looks absolutely magnificent. There's work to be done yet, so there's more money that we need to raise to complete the project.
I grew up a block away from the monument, and every year as a child I always went to the Memorial Day service and went to watch the parade. And you know, all the years that I would hear the speakers talk about, you know, their military service or whatever it might be, and now that I've lived with my 7 children and my wife, our kids do the same thing, and how we had a greater appreciation when my son, 2 of my sons are in the Army, and my oldest son served in Iraq in 05 and 06, and the proudest moment was when I got to see and watch my son be the speaker at the Memorial Day service, and as a proud parent, it's given me a greater appreciation of what our soldiers, what our men and women have done throughout our history, and the sacrifices that they gave us for our freedom. And you know, it's just come in a sense full circle with me growing up hoping to get one of those 21 gun salute shells that they would shoot, the veterans did, to where I did get one, and my kids did the same thing, and then to see my son give the speech at the service, and you know, it's just something that I'll never forget as a parent. What my son has done, and to our military veterans have done in the past.
When I first discovered the monument, I had been researching a Veterans Memorial for Delavan just before the 10th anniversary of 9/11. Delavan is a city with pride in its veterans, so it only seemed that a lasting tribute would be appropriate. What I found was a monument in severely bad condition, on hallowed sacred ground, dedicated by forgotten founders and pioneers. For 141 years, it had deteriorated to unrecognizable black mold, overgrowth, cracks, broken foundation, and disrepair. On 9/11, the restoration began, with gentle cleaning, excavation, research, inquiries, and a drive to take back our history. This is the centerpiece of every Memorial Day ever since the dedication in 1870. Within a year, we went from concept to committee to cleaning to excavation to discoveries to headlines to website to fundraising to restoration to task force and to public awareness. We approached the monument from above and below to make the 142nd Memorial Day meaningful, to honor our fallen Delavan troops. When people will ask, "Why did you do it?" I'd have to say, how could we not? At a time when democracy was fragile, these men marched off to war and never returned. They gave their lives for our freedom and the republic for which it stands. We forget how much that meant to the citizens of Delavan, who lost their sacred sons and vowed to never forget. We intend to make things right again. As a single father, I know it's important to pass on your values, traditions, and beliefs to your children so that they will have something to be proud of, and that their children will have something to be proud of. And let us never forget that we are Delavan, that we are all proud Americans, and that we intend to finish our restoration in time for the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. The names on the Roll of Honor are the listing of all the volunteers who did not come back, that were casualties of that war.